Hi, I'm Libra. Happy early birthday to those of you celebrating September, and this is your September 2020 Astrology 33 reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, I'm actually going to be taking a bit of a break from those, probably at least for the next month, but if I do change my mind, I'll make an update in the community section of the channel regarding that. As far as what we have in front of us, we have a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled a couple of Oracle cards and a Mudra card for you guys. So we'll get started with the main spread. The main situation position, we have the Hermit, which is Virgo energy, the Magician, and the Fool. So, if I remember right, I'm pretty sure it was your reading last month where the title for it was Make Your Own Magic or something along those lines. Work Your Magic, I think, wasn't the title I gave it. I can't even remember the exact title, but pretty sure it was something along those lines anyway. So, seeing the Magician pop up here in the main situation, I feel like that's still at play for you guys. With the Hermit energy, I feel like you guys are really just looking at, possibly manifesting a new beginning in some area. Maybe you feel like the timing just hasn't been right for you to act on it just yet. If that's the case, that might start to come around for you guys once Mercury moves into your sign, which will be pretty early in September. So, having it move through your 12th house, you just still might be in more of a reflective and planning stage at this point. But I feel like this is you eventually coming to the realization that you have all the tools you need to make something happen, and then actually going after that in full pursuit. So that's what I see there. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the Ace of Wands. So I feel like this is, again, that same theme that I was saying. It just seems to emphasize the fact that, you guys are coming to that realization that you can make it happen. It's just a matter of actually taking that action. And, like I always point out to people with the aces in this deck, that cloud with the hand coming out, to me, represents something that's in the idea stage. The action hasn't been taken yet. And then the neutrality of the background, too, says, hey, this is at play, but you actually have to take action. So I feel like you guys are already there mentally. I think you're coming to that realization, or if not, you will be very soon. That okay, I have what it takes to make it happen, and then it's just a matter of building up to actually taking that action. In the foundation position, we have the Strength card, which is Leo energy, Ace of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and Knight of Swords. So for some of you, this can be related to finances, definitely. And this is possibly even saying that at this point, you might have been restraining yourselves in some way, possibly even because you've been saving up your money. So again, maybe this was a matter of finances. You have a plan in place. You're like, okay, this is what I want to do. But it's just a matter of putting the steps in place to actually take that action, right? So you're like, okay, I have to save up money for X amount of months. By this time, I'll be able to actually move forward with the plan in a tangible way. And to me, that's what that Page of Pentacles says. It says that you're close, right? Close to getting there. And then that Knight of Swords represents the actual movement. Now, this is typically a Gemini energy, but this can represent your energy as well, since you're also an air sign. And then if we think about the fact that the North Node is actually in the sign of Gemini, which is your 9th house too. So for some of you, this can be around moving. For some of you, possibly even going back to school, so it can be one of those things too, where you've been thinking about investing in yourselves to go back to school. Maybe with all the financial uncertainty going on in the world, you realize, okay, I need to get to another level with my education so I could, have more options when it comes to career. It could be things along those lines, or like I said, just physical movement. All right, in the past position, we have the Seven of Swords, Three of Cups, and Five of Swords. So some of the worst swords energies there, both Aquarius energy actually. So for some of you, can be pointing to you dealing with an Aquarius, possibly when we had the Aquarius full moon, maybe some situation came to light. Usually I very, very rarely see the Three of Cups as a third party scenario, but when it's sandwiched between these two cards, that's at the very least a possibility, or at the very least there might have been an assumption of a third party situation that might have led to an argument. whether it was actually verified or not. So that's certainly at play. But for some of you, this could just be saying, we're looking at the fifth house energy here with the Aquarius cards, and then in between that, we have 10th house energy. So for some of you, this could just be saying that there might have been some sabotage that you guys had going in the area of career versus romance. So for example, maybe if you met someone new, you put all of your energy into that relationship and then it ended up sabotaging your career in some way, or vice versa. You were just totally focused on career and completely neglecting your love life at the expense of that. So if that's the case, this probably just points back to when we had the North Node moving through Cancer, which was your 10th house. So, and then maybe during the Mercury retrograde period in Cancer, you might have come to that realization. So maybe you're actually establishing balance in that regard, where you're like, okay, I'm not going to get totally one-sided toward one thing versus the other. Maybe you're trying to incorporate the two in a more healthy way. In the present position, we have the High Priestess. So again, this is similar to what I was saying with the cards we see in the main situation, which is to say, I feel like you're integrating the information. You're either close to knowing what you want to do, or you already have decided, and it's just a matter of you taking action. So I feel like this is you just biding your time a little bit. Like I said, that could just be due to the fact that you have Mercury moving through your 12th house. And then once it moves into your sign, you might be a little bit more ready to take action. Or possibly even worst case, by the time the sun comes into your sign toward the very end of September. But I do feel like you're on the precipice of taking that action. All right. In the near future position, we have the Four of Wands. So this is actually Aries energy, which for you guys is your opposite sign. So of course, this could point to success and expansion in a relationship if you're in one. Like I said, for some of you, I was picking up on that vibe where maybe some of you might have been considering a move. Possibly this is what you were saving up for, to get a house, for example. It looks like you might be moving toward that this month. But either way, this is very positive energy to see. You guys have Mars in Aries as well. It's going to be there until I think January 7th or so of next year because of the retrograde cycle coming. But so you could have a lot of energy just on partnerships in general. But yeah, this is definitely a pretty positive energy. Like I said, to me, it's kind of a combination of Mars meets Jupiter. So you have that taking action leading to expansion and luck. So that's why I see there. All right, in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Three of Swords. So, I mean, obviously this is a pretty negative card too. It seems like you guys have, well, you don't have the Ten of Swords, but you have some of the worst swords cards in the deck. But at the same time, me seeing this here and looking at the past position, I feel like this is an energy that you guys will be moving out of as we get through the month. I mean, just looking at the supporting energies around it, I don't necessarily see that this is something coming toward you. Because, I mean, like I said, we see the past. That definitely seems to align better with that Three of Swords energy than the Four of Wands energy does, right? And we also had the Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like you're coming out of this energy. But obviously, you could just be saying that early on in the month, or maybe when I first post this, some of you might still be feeling this energy. Or maybe even almost having an expectation that you'll end up disappointed. But that's what I see there. And to be fair too, this is Libra energy, and it's kind of the fixed energy within that Libra energy. So could just be saying that you might have been stuck on something for a long time as well. And maybe you're coming up out of that energy now. All right, in the environment position, we have the Ten of Wands. So this is actually Sagittarius energy here, which for you guys is your third house communication. So this could represent communication that maybe you've been bottling up for a while. So for example, this could represent for some of you too, where maybe you've been just keeping quiet about your plans, right? So maybe you haven't told your friends or your family or whatever what those plans were. For example, let's say you're planning to move to another country or possibly even just, a few states away, depending on where you live in the world, right? And so that's kind of a big move, but maybe just been a bit quiet about it with them. You've been holding it back because you're like, all right, what if you change your mind at the last minute, right? So maybe you're really just trying to wait until you were certain as to what move you were going to make until you actually communicated that. So that could be what this represents here. For others of you, it can represent someone else where maybe they've been communicating with you a lot. And if you're in kind of that more, hermit and high priestess mood, maybe you just haven't really been communicating with them as frequently. So maybe they feel a bit burdened by that. But either way, I see you guys can move past that energy. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Two of Cups in reverse. So yeah, I mean, to me, I feel like this is speaking to that Three of Swords situation. And like I said, if this was just maybe a past cycle that you used to go through a lot where there was deception, right? Like maybe, all right, let's just do a generic example with the three cards. Maybe there was someone who gets in a commitment with you, right? You're like, okay, yeah, they totally tell you they're in, you guys are official, right? You might go and celebrate that with friends, and then poof, before you even know it, all of a sudden the connection falls apart, right? So obviously that would make you a bit reluctant to jump into another connection, right? Especially if that happens more than once, because you're like, okay, why does this keep happening, right? So like I said, for some of you, it could just be a personal power thing where some of you come to that realization that, you can change those dynamics. So maybe you've actually grown and moved past that cycle. And that's what the Six of Wands energy at the bottom of that could be representing as well, overcoming that and having that victory. But with this coming up in the hopes or fears position, I'm going to assume it's a fear, obviously. It looks like you might not be there quite yet. So yeah, I feel like this is really what we're seeing primarily, is that you guys are still in that transition phase where you might not have the confidence quite yet. Like I said, and it might be rightfully so because of past experiences, but like I said, I feel like a light bulb's going to go off for you guys this month with that Hermit, Magician, and Fool energy, where you're going to come to that realization like, oh, you know what, I do have the power to change this, and then you take action. So that's what I'm seeing there. And then in the outcome position, we have the Hangman in reverse. So more Pisces energy, like the High Priestess there. And to me, like I was saying, I feel like for a lot of you, once Mercury comes into your sign pretty early on in September, that's probably going to be when you actually feel like you're out of the thought process and feeling stuck in your head and you're actually ready to take that action. And like I said, if not by then, it's not going to be that early in the month for everyone. But worst case, I would say once the sun actually moves into your sign a little bit later in September. So that's what I'm seeing there. It looks like you're finally going to make up your mind, finally take action. And it looks like it'll be after a lot of thought too, so I feel like that's going to give you the confidence too. Like, okay, I didn't just jump into this blindly. This is something I gave a lot of thought to, right? Possibly even too much thought, because again, since that is your third house communication, it could just be saying that you might have thought about this extensively and really, really, really made sure. But seeing that Four of Wands in the near future, the Six of Wands bottom of the deck, everything seems to be lining up that would work out well for you guys. So hopefully that resonated. We'll move on to your oracle cards. First, we have No Place Like Home. There's the artwork, and the number is 50. Okay, it says authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, being comfortable in your own skin. The oracle's message. Home feels safe and secure. It's a comfortable place to rest and create, a place that is known and you can call yours. This card signals that your ability to trust yourself and feel at home in your own skin is beginning to solidify as you claim your dignity and integrity, aspects of yourself no one can take away from you. You know who you are. You hold your head high, yet with neither pride nor humility. Instead, you stand as the observer, seeing through the eyes of your soul. This puts you in a position of power and strength. Authenticity is your home. You are safe here in the house of your spirit and spirit. So interesting messages there. That makes me think kind of what we were saying with that High Priestess energy in the present position too. So hopefully that resonated with you. The relationship message says lovers, friends, and companion animals are at home in your life right now. You are in sync and full of love, and you can be sure in the knowledge that it is reciprocated. Relationships elicit a sense of emotional safety, comfort, and the best aspects of familiarity now. Be home in this relationship. Together you add to the love of the world. So obviously a pretty positive message there as well, and that makes me think of the Four of Wands energy we see in the near future too. So like I said, you guys might not be there quite yet, but I feel like you're going to be moving into that energy pretty soon. All right, and then the prosperity message says, when you act in an authentic way, you command the world to reflect back to you exactly what is in your highest good. Your business choices and investments you make, and the creative projects you immerse yourself in are powerfully on point. Why? Because when you are fully yourself, radically accepting everything in your journey to date, both successes and failures, you will see the divinity in all things. Abundance is a natural progression when you experience this kind of authenticity. So that was an interesting message there too, because I was mentioning the possible, sabotage dynamic with career and possibly versus romance too, where you might have gotten in your own way in some ways, where you might have thrown those two areas of your life completely out of balance. So maybe this is even saying where you come to that realization about that cycle that you were in, and now being able to understand what that was and what it taught you, being able to overcome it is going to be a great asset to you too. So hopefully that resonated with you guys. Moving on to the next card from the Spirit Animal Oracle. You guys got Cat Spirit. Claim your independence. There's the artwork, and the number is 13. Again, like I said, that makes me think of that personal power thing we were seeing there, where you come to that realization that you have the power to make things happen and change the dynamic if you're unhappy with it. But we'll see what the actual book says. Okay, it says, when Cat Spirit meows, she's calling you to claim your independence and allow for some space between you and others in your life. The only way you can grow in all your relationships now is to have a healthy sense of self-respect and self-worth. When you walk with dignity, knowing who you are, self-aware and willing to grow, trusting the value you bring, the world will mirror all this back to you in kind. When you say no to codependency and enmeshment, live and let live, and practice taking risk as you wander into new territory for you, Cat Spirit rejoices. She is here to urge you to let your independent spirit roam free. So yeah, once again, another positive message, and it does seem to align pretty well with the general spread and also that first oracle card, so hopefully that resonated with you guys too. And finally, we have a Mudra card. So the Mudra that you guys got for this month is the Bhairava Mudra. There it is there. And the keyword for it is fierceness. So already sounds like it'd be that good. Assistance to help you get that confidence up. But let's see what it says. All right, if you guys want to pause it or take a screenshot, you can if you want to read the full thing. But under benefits, it says calms the mind, serves as an aid to meditation, cuts ego clinging, imparts the courage needed to fully embrace life as it is. So that sounds like something that would be beneficial for you guys. I will put the name of the Mudra in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, guys. Once again, happy birthday to those of you celebrating September, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.